The Jacksonville Jaguars are now on the clock, just like they were last year. But this year's draft class is very different than last year's draft class. Last year's draft class, they could have sent in the pick months before it happened. This year, they've got to do their jobs and actually scout that number one overall pick. And all I've heard about this draft class is like, oh, the high-end talent isn't there. Everyone should be looking to trade back. There is no Trevor Lawrence. There is no Myles Garrett. There is. And his name is Kyle Hamilton. He is a generational prospect, and people aren't taking him as seriously as they should because he plays safety, and that's not the kind of coveted position that quarterback or edge rusher is. But he is head and shoulders above anyone else in this class, I feel. He is a Myles Garrett type of talent. He is a Trevor Lawrence type of talent. He is a generational prospect, and any big board that doesn't have him at number one is very suspect to me. And I think it is perfectly okay for the Jaguars, who have their franchise quarterback, to go into the draft with him in mind with the number one overall pick, and I will tell you why. I'm going to start off with some plays from the 2020 Rose Bowl, that playoff game against Alabama when they had Mac Jones and Najee Harris and Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle, one of the best teams in Alabama history, in my opinion. And this play really should have worked for them. All right, you've got the wide receiver going into the flat, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah chasing him. This guy's running a go route and bringing the corner with him. And after that pump fake, this should work because you got the linebacker beelining into the flat. You got the clear out and the corner coming with him. And Kyle Hamilton hasn't backed up. He's flat-footed with this like slot fade coming in behind him. So this is a good position to be in. But you see Kyle Hamilton's recognition of the play. All right, as soon as that pump fake happens, he is flipping his hips and making a beeline towards the corner. You see the range, you see the instincts, and then you see the length. All right, this is a 6'4" guy. One sec, we'll go this angle. You can see it a little bit better. At the corner of the screen there. 6'4" guy just smothering the wide receiver at the catch point. Has a chance to make an interception, can't quite do it, but bats us away. And this was really the last time that they tried Kyle Hamilton in this entire game. I think Mac Jones got like PTSD from that event because later in the game, there's a little bit of a miscommunication where both Hamilton and the corner takes the guy in the flat, and then you've got the tight end coming in behind him. And Mac Jones is literally looking that way. But once he sees Hamilton on that side of the field, I mean, he just gives up on that. And who knows, honestly, once Hamilton realizes a mistake and starts beelining it back there, his recovery speed chews up ground so fast, he honestly could have made a play on this ball. All right, this is not wide open when Kyle Hamilton is around. Like that's almost covered with Kyle Hamilton. That's the kind of range that he has. And Mac Jones knows that, and he doesn't want to even attempt this throw because Kyle Hamilton would probably pick it off. That is the kind of impact that he has on the side of the field that he is on. This is basically the only other time you could say they maybe targeted Hamilton. Before the snap, it's pretty clear that this is going to be some sort of zone, right? Everybody's eyes are on the quarterback, right? They're at a bunch of different levels, the defense is, and this is going to end up being cover three. This guy's going to drop back, middle of the field safety. This guy's going to drop back. Then Alabama is going to go with a kind of a concept where these two are going to run clear outs, basically, and then this guy is going to try to find a hole in the zone and have a zone beater little curl thing on third and short and try to pick up that first down, right? And he's in good position, settles down in the right spot. The sticks are right about here, and he's going to settle down right there. But there's Kyle Hamilton, right? And as soon as Mac Jones looks that way, you're going to see him start moving that way. And as soon as Mac Jones opens his arms up to throw, he's going to close that gap and make the tackle short of the first down. And here you see it from this angle. You kind of see the reaction time and the feel for where Mac Jones wants to go. Even before the snap, moving closer to the middle of the field, right? Eyes that way, Kyle Hamilton moving that way. And then the reaction time, as soon as that hand starts to separate to throw, he really commits to it and wraps this up short of the first down, bringing it to fourth down. So those are the passing highlights, and there aren't that many because they never really tried him, as you shouldn't. But why I really think he's worthy of the first overall pick and why I think he's a entire defense changing type of player is because of what he does in the run game and how fast he recognizes things and how he just like changes the whole math of your front. Because he's single high safety, right? He might as well be lined up here. Like his reaction time and his speed makes it so he can have access to plays in the box that other guys just don't have access to. As soon as this play starts and you start to see these guys pulling, he takes off, he recognizes that and takes off with no hesitation. And you see the speed at which he makes it there. I mean, he beats the Mike linebacker to his spot. He's in a better position to make this play as a linebacker than the actual linebackers are, and he's the single high safety. Right? Like, this is like some Terminator shit. This is like Daphne. Remember that girl running on the treadmill and everyone was like, oh my God, she's a hunter. That running form is scary. That's how Kyle Hamilton runs all the time. And when this wide receiver wants to bend this inside on the end around, there's just an extra guy in the box, Kyle Hamilton, that isn't blocked because he's not supposed to be there that fast. All right, so he's there. He's got to bounce this outside. Kyle Hamilton is still there and makes his tackle 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, even though he started as a single high safety on this play. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that is like no other defense in the league has a guy like that. Like that, safeties who can do stuff like that aren't just around all the time. And I think it's an incredibly valuable thing, and just as valuable, if not more, than an offensive tackle or a wide receiver or anything. Like, to have that kind of skill set and be able to change that kind of math, and basically have another linebacker in the box while still being sound in coverage and having that single high safety, is an aspect that defenses just don't have an opportunity to have very often. And it's kind of my main argument here. He's basically the perfect prospect. What do you covet? What do you covet in a safety? Range? Because he can make a pick on the boundary sideline from the field hash, run like 30-something yards across the field to make this play. Do you covet size? Because the guy is 6'4", and apparently he has like a 40-inch vertical. Do you covet ball skills? Because here he is making a one-handed interception off a deflection. Do you value versatility? Because he'll line up in the box, at slot corner, play some man coverage, bring him on a blitz or something, whatever you want. He can do it at a high level. And I know getting Trevor Lawrence help should be the priority, and it doesn't have to not be. All right, you've got the entire offseason. You've got tons of other draft picks. If you know going into right now, if you make the decision in the next couple weeks before free agency, okay, Kyle Hamilton will be ours. Let's plan the rest of the offseason around that fact. You can still overpay Chris Godwin or Juju Smith-Schuster or just some other free agent wide receiver who like knows what they're doing. And then maybe draft another one in the second or third round. And then you've got Chark and you've got ETN, and then you've got this rookie wide receiver in the day 2, and this wide receiver 1 that you just got in free agency, and a new coach, and you're okay. And you got Kyle Hamilton to transform the defense, try to sign a tackle, and it's not a horrible plan. All right, it's not a horrible plan. Going from Andrew Wingard to Kyle Hamilton is a substantial upgrade. It is maybe even a bigger upgrade than going from like Cam Robinson to Evan Neal. It is a game-changing thing for a defense, and that is help for Trevor Lawrence. Maybe not on his stat sheet, but it makes his job easier because the defense will be much better. I remember after the Cowboys drafted Micah Parsons 12th overall, there were people who literally liked Micah Parsons as a prospect, like really liked him, but still didn't like the pick because they were like, oh, off-ball linebacker in the top 12, what are you doing? The positional value. If you were to redraft the whole league right now and like, let's say no quarterbacks could get taken, how many players would you take before Micah Parsons? It would be like 3 max. All right. Positional value. If you are good enough, the positional value doesn't really matter. The 49ers don't get as far as they do in these playoffs without Fred Warner. The Cowboys don't have the defense they do without Micah Parsons. All right. The Seahawks aren't the Legion of Boom without Earl Thomas. This Bills aren't the defense they were this year without Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. So, in my opinion, it is perfectly okay to take a safety here if you think he is that good. I think he is that good. I don't see why anyone would not think he is that good. The only flaw I can possibly imagine with him is sometimes he will tackle low, like go for the ankles, and guys will fall forward instead of backwards. That's about my only quip with Kyle Hamilton. So, if you're a Jaguars fan, I don't think it will happen, but if I was the GM, that's who I would be targeting. Anyway, that'll do it for this film review. I know it wasn't as long as Lamar Jackson one was, but I hope it gave you an idea of the caliber of prospect that Kyle Hamilton is and the regard that I hold him in. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you next week with another film breakdown. And be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you then.